3-0 last year. He needs to play his minutes early.
Missed on the close shot. Stewart will push it. Robinson.
Boy, what a great play. First by Russell Robinson on the drive, but Roderick's
ball game against Washburn, and he got a standing ovation when he came into the game. As turnover against Arizona, back to Rush, and he's got 5 quick points in less than a minute. Timeout, Arizona. It is a 9-0 run by the Wildcats. So let's take a timeout. 9-4 KU. And scored by Horn. That was in that NC State and Houston game.
Well, Derek Wittenberg still insists that was a pass. Well, what a great move by Mario Chalmers.
Do you believe him on the pass?
No, but he still keeps insisting. A great opportunity here.
Wilmeyer too hard, and here comes Russell Robinson. And Russell feeds back to Kahn, who will jam it home.
That's a 4-point swing, Ron. An opportunity.
Boy, almost put up an air ball there. But as I mentioned, the coaches say that in the last couple of weeks, they have seen quite a change.
Shown a lot more signs of life, and Walters didn't even show on that ball screen.
Rush now in double figures. He's got 10.
Boy, that's Wade is missing a spark. What a move.
Wise blocked by Kahn. His second of the second half. Stewart at the other end, and he jams it home. Stewart in double figures. Shot clock is now under 10. Chalmers. Long pass, Rush is right there.
Boy, how beautiful with that off the ball screen. Going against the grain, the little backdoor cut by Brandon Rush. And the
on the floor, knocked away by Chalmers, and he'll get the outlet pass and jam it home. 2-point game.
Boy, just a poor decision by Nick Wise to take that ball into traffic and not protect it. And they're almost in a zone.
Chalmers scores it. Nice job. 12 points for him as Lee literally got them both. We're tied again, 62 apiece.
Now Arizona wants a timeout, but they can take this all the way down. Quick duck in. But Brillmeyer doing a nice job on Darrell Arthur inside, and Roderick Stewart makes yet another big play.
Stewart will go to the line with an opportunity for a 3-point play.
Going to be tougher, mentally and physically.
Chalmers misses the runner. Arthur on the foul.
Right now, Darrell Arthur has been King Arthur, making plays on both ends.
Well, he now has 20 points. Hill tried to jam it home. Oh, Rush on the steal.
Arizona needs a timeout here. Wait till it gets down to 13 or 14. Now the run-out ball screen.
Jackson with the screen. To Rush. And now 6.9 seconds. Robinson
got a foul.
So it's in overtime, but Kansas finally subdues a very stubborn and hard-fighting Wildcat team from the University of Arizona. So the Big 12 picks up the first victory in this matchup between the Big 12 and the Pac-10 Hardwood Series. So once again, our final score in overtime is KU 76 and Arizona 72. Coming up next on ESPN, it's College Football Live. For more on this game, tune to ESPN News for a post-game extra. For more information, rush, a little too hard. Tip back out, and it goes right back to Chalmers of KU. Skip pass to Rush.
I tell you, you can really see him starting to get his confidence of recovering from ACL tear. Missed the beginning of the season, but Chalmers, again, another seal out in transition.
Missed the follow by Robinson. So that's 4 fast break points out of the 23 for KU, and they are standing and cheering here at Allen Fieldhouse. Lost the ball. It's going to be Chalmers again. And in transition, 3-on-2 on the break. This is one of the things that Jerry Wainwright, we heard him last night at practice. Let me ask you this. I mean, here's a guy in Danny Manning that, you know, not only went on and played in the pros, but won a national championship as a collegian. As Russell Robinson comes up with a steal, and Stewart slams it home. So we're going to step aside for 30 seconds. 30 for Kansas, 14 for DePaul, 6:07 left. We're out here doing the Arizona game. Russell didn't score until very late in that ball game, and I felt as though after having watched him for a long time, as the left-handed shot goes, I thought about that just totally an outstanding defensive first half as, Klinsky with a very bad air ball.
Wow.
Nice dish back to Byrne. And that's what I was talking about, the passing to the big men. Arthur, very unselfish.
But they're running the floor. You see Darrell Arthur, they're good rotation on their shot, and he was the head coach of the under-19 league that won a silver medal over in Serbia this summer, having guys on the league as they go out in transition. Wow! Okay.
In fact, he had Arthur on that team, Darrell Arthur, and
got injured, ended up not playing with the team, and he talked about they had a lack of size against a finally get a basket and lead score for DePaul, trying to get it going here in the second half. And defensively, he can block shots, he can rebound the basketball and advance it. He doesn't have to outlet it to a point guard. So a beautiful pass by Darnell Jackson.
Again, big man to big man. They're putting on a show.
I think they're the best in the country in terms of high-low action. They really like to feed the post from their opposite. I think he is their best passer.
You know, what's interesting is that shot is going to be partially blocked and taken away by Chalmers.
Oh!
Jackson.
Oh!
Wow. Whoa.
Wow! Wow!
Interesting one on this KU team to watch. To me, he is a scorer who's looking to explode, but he hasn't learned how yet.
And he's not ready yet. If you talk to Coach Bill Self, I think he's ready to explode there.
All right, big fella. All right.
And you were saying, Ron?
Bring it home. That's a career high for Russell. Talk about an inauspicious beginning. He did not have a good start. And after a couple of quick fouls, Coach put him on the bench, but came back and righted the ship. And this one is history.
Final score, Kansas 84, DePaul 66.
So the final score is Kansas 84 and DePaul 66. Up next on ESPN, the NCAA Division I Football Championship semifinals, Delaware against Southern Illinois. I'm Ron Franklin for Hubert Davis and our entire ESPN.
Isn't that amazing? He shoots under 30% from three during the season, but he's a big-time player.
That's what they do best, Sean. Drive to the rim, you support, come over and help. They find guys.
Russell Robinson the drive, Darrell Arthur the dunk. Kansas a 6-5 lead.
Work on.
Oh, got to wait till he's there. Not a good look by Spears.
Picked off by Mario Chalmers, one of the best in Kansas history at steals. And at the other end, Darnell Jackson with the dunk.
That's the key, Bill. If Mario Chalmers, Russell Robinson, Collins can speed this Boston.
He's been in double figures in all but one game this year for the Jayhawks. Lazy pass by Rice. Chalmers might have walked. Robinson has plenty of help, and Rush is fouled, and he'll have a chance for three.
Did you see the numbers, by the way, at the end? 4 guys blew 1.5 court, 3 up front.
Well, just when you think Boston College is going to get to the offense.
You almost have to dribble. I wouldn't ball screen against that either.
Rice had it blocked by
Look at
Arthur.
this.
Nobody back. Rice penetrated. They did not rotate, and Rush the flush.
What'd you say about his knee? Now that brace will be coming off, they think, soon, huh?
That tandem has worked that play. Spears into Rakim Sanders. Tied at 22. Chalmers off for Arthur for another dunk.
Too easy.
Well, now it's a test of wills because when Boston College runs the half-court offense, takes care of the ball, they're scoring. When they don't, it allows Kansas to play their game.
Utility. We saw Bill Self and Lou Perkins, the athletic director before the game, said to Bill, "What's it like to coach at a football school?" They both rolled their eyes like, you know how many times we've heard that? Mario Chalmers the three.
He can handle it, though. It's like Rick Barnes in a sense. You know, they don't mind. They're very happy.
He looks at his bank account every 2 weeks, and he can handle. They're 61-7 since then. So you see the maturity and the ability to give up the ball to whoever's open.
Now, they're well-schooled, they're talented kids, and they're unselfish.
Rush for three. Preseason first team, all Big 12, honorable mention All-American in the preseason. He was going to go.
That was an ugly game
Yes.
on a big Monday, so I know Doc Saddle, whose team is much improved, quicker, more athletic.
I think he's even quicker.
Robinson to Darrell Arthur. Kansas continues to put on a very impressive performance.
Sean, you haven't seen this kind of play since enough to score inside, has range.
Had decent numbers the first half.
Bob.
How about that look? Over the head. Remember they used to say, don't telegraph a pass like that?
Yeah.
Forget about it. Oh, is that pretty by Chalmers
We had the perfect angle
Yes, we did.
at the end?
He's like the punt returner, you know? He's a special teams guy.
Here he comes again. He's not Kyle Lowry, but he reminds me a little. Look at this. He lost his footing and still makes it.
That was awkward looking, but he made it. Sharon Collins, who missed 6 games due to injury and a stress fracture of his foot. They put a pin in there. Bob Cousy, Chuck Daly, mentioned Jim O'Brien,
Gary Williams, Tom Davis,
Bob Zuccarotto.
Scouting.
just on the bell. Yeah, good play. No need fouling.
Well, Darnell Jackson came in shooting 78 undefeated. DC with one of his best football seasons ever. Even the Bruins, who weren't supposed to be very good, have surprised.
Might have got away with an extra.
Let him go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
How about the sprint? And then
With stress fracture, did not play. Preseason first team All Big 12, so the folks in the Big 12 know what they have in Darrell Arthur.
I got a chance to watch him during those practices right before he got. Look at this, another Bob.
another one. You name it.
I see him coming. I get nervous.
Quiet. Well, you know what? You say take the legs out, it's a foul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really have to get the guy and ride him out of bounds before.
He was also the state champ in the long jump in high school and a 4.0 student. Other than that, he didn't do much. Well, he was at Burlington High. Well, at one time, this game was tied at 22. 25-7 run in the first half, and Bill Self and the Jayhawks cruise to the 6th 14-0 start in Kansas history, their first under Coach Self. 85-60 is the final. 22 points for Arthur. Offense first.
Man-to-man, you're looking at the second best defense in the country according to points allowed and field goal percentage.
Alley-oop, they tried to backdoor. Very quick read on the part of Nebraska, but still right there. Darnell Jackson, and boy, what an improved player. Can't get it to go. Missed it a little too hard. And out on the wing quickly is Rush.
Should have laid that up instead of tried to dunk it.
Rush for three. And Doc Sadler says, I've seen enough. I want a timeout. 7-0 run by the Jayhawks of Kansas. And we're going to hold it right here. And one of the things that the Cornhusker players talked about in preparation for this one, let's go back and visit last year. The white towels was a miserable one. Maybe a little bit tight. He did not start in the ball game tonight. He's only been on the floor about 2.5, 3 minutes. Double team stolen by KU. Khan comes away with it, and it's Chalmers. He scores, and Chong Ping will pick up the foul.
You know, it's usually the guards that knock the ball loose, but Sasha Khan right here did a terrific.
Shot clock is now under 10. Into March, where the ball was rifled by Harley. Really unfair for the big guy. And the jam home by 0-0. Darrell Arthur, sophomore out of Dallas, South Oak Cliff. All of a sudden, it's a 9-point lead again. Free. Miller strong to the hoop, couldn't get it. Ball is tipped up by Jackson. Off on the wing, Rush for three. And you know, you see the coaches over there on the Nebraska sideline, and they just put their head in their hand because they've had three really. He's getting a breather. Miller back out on the wing. Anderson for three, nope. Jackson comes down with it. Chalmers back out on top. Rush for three.
Wow. Set up by Chalmers. How about the baseline drive, Ron? He knew exactly where Rush was.
16 points for him until intermission time.
I don't want to give it away at halftime, but I didn't know Roy Hibbert had that much range.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I saw that, and wow. Anyway, don't miss it, folks. Pass inside. I don't know how he got that. Yep. That was threading a needle to Jackson, and the big fella came up with the basketball and jammed it home. I think you'll see improvements in those, and maybe some very quickly. Chalmers back out on the wing. Robinson for three. Wow.
Can't get any better than that.
This is what I was talking about. And Doc Sadler looks up and says, man, 15 points that quickly. Let's take a timeout. 1:56 remaining until intermission.
Of course, it's millions of dollars at stake when you think of his potential draft status, so probably a good idea.
Well, it hasn't slowed him down that you can tell. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chalmers.
Same thing, Ron. Dribble weave, whoever's open. They've had 8 different players this year lead them and score. They're down 17. They're cheering for a basket. You just get the feeling that they appreciate that this is one more step in the building process for Doc Sadler's team.
Sasha Khan with the follow.
Young man from Florida Air Academy.
Sooners they'll play on the Monday evening for the national championship. Lost it. Chalmers got numbers. Collins.
Collins wanted to pass that ball, but he had no one to pass it to, so he had to shoot it. Memphis and Carolina not far behind, but they took Nebraska's best shot in front of a great crowd.
Well, Bill Self comes down to shake hands with his longtime friend, Doc Sadler. Final score, Jayhawks 79 and the Cornhuskers 58. For more on this game, tune into ESPN News for a post-game extra. I'm Ron Franklin for Fran Frischella and Holly Rowe and our entire crew. This has been a presentation of ESPN from Virginia Commonwealth by way of Duke University. And on the tip, it's going to be Darnell Jackson, who will get the ball and jam it home for an early 2-point lead.
He has become the Jayhawks spirit.
Arthur almost lost it. Khan comes away with it. 11-2 are scored. Skip pass, Rush.
From Mario Chalmers, maybe the most complete glass. So everything must come off the half court.
Longer hit the bottom of the glass. We got force so far underneath. Collins at the other end.
He's like the punt returner. He'll fumble a couple, but he'll run more back. Thinking that far ahead. UCLA doesn't mind it either. It'll be Anaheim Phoenix for them if they're the number 1 seed.
Almost stolen by Godbold. Shot clock under 10. Rush.
I don't think Bill Self needs another talk with him anymore this season to be more aggressive.
11 points for him. Comes Crocker as Oklahoma tries to push it now. Blocked by Khan. Rush for 3. They are standing 26-point lead. Sharon Collins off the mark, but Arthur rebounds. Oh, alley-oop, Jackson. Well, you see him banging his fist on the floor.
Now, he signed with Bill Self, but it's interesting. He was recruited by Roy, and Bill still played with his dad. That was an easy get.
Russell Robinson, and a behind-the-back pass to Stewart.
You know how many guys would have shot that basketball? He knows Rod Stewart works every day in practice, doesn't get a lot of glory.
Connor Tehan checks in, number 2. 5 seconds down to 4. There will be no more shots taken here tonight. And 85-55. That will go in the books as the final.
85, Oklahoma 55.
So again, the final score, Kansas 85 and Oklahoma 55. For more on this game, tune into ESPN News for a post-game extra. I'm Ron Franklin for Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe and our entire ESPN crew. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader.
Assist to turnover ratio. Only 1 turnover the first time these two teams played.
Now another steal. Rush intercepts the pass. Up court, Darnell Jackson back to Rush. Wide open look. Stuck it. And Rush has 3.
You heard Doug Bell talk about it while he was doing his interview with Bill Self.
The idea now is to hang in if they can for Nebraska. Try to keep it about here. Flash it on. Knocks it loose from Strobridge. Collins with an easy layup. Kansas just doesn't let up on you on defense.
Yeah, if you run over a on-the-ball screen for Kansas, you're going to get double-teamed, and it's really almost forgivable from our guard to come. Nebraska the same way. Doc Sadler, that's the first thing he told us last night at his practice, that if we'd have made some free throws, we could be 2-1. They missed a ton of free throws.
Sharon Collins, boy, talk about 4 to win it. He knew right where his teammate Darnell Jackson was. He forced the action toward the baseline, then fed the 24-point lead. That's what they've averaged beating opponents by this year. Arthur Collins drives it into the lane. Oh, what a nice blind pass to Jackson to Rush in the corner, and another trade, the 4th for Brandon Rush. He has 14 points.
It all started with a good penetration.
Fall, and the rebound to Cole Aldrich, lost it momentarily, picked up by Roderick Stewart. Collins, now Stewart, now Collins from the deep corner. Good. Sharon Collins.
That's a big basket by Sharon Collins. Did you see the poise and balance? He caught it, looked down to make sure his heels weren't going to come down on.
Along the lane, Darnell Jackson puts it on the floor. Turnaround shot. Oh, how strong is it?
Yeah, that was real strong. Pretty good defense. I was thinking Bill Self's not going to be pleased with that shot, but I guess it's hard to be too upset when you make it.
He went up for the shot. He Miller. Taken away. Brandon Rush. Nice bounce pass Case. Right back to Chalmers in the lane, and they get it. Chalmers' first bucket of the day. He has 3 points. Unselfish basketball and a big smile on Chalmers' face. Case 2. Why not? Nice play both ways.
You know, talking about the foundation that Doc Sadler is trying to establish, there on your right is Brandon. That was a good decision.
He's having fun here. Freshman, and the crowd loves him. Last night, at the Rockhurst game when they were beaten by Shawnee Mission East High School, Kahn with a jam shot. Now how about this? They were chanting Connor Teahan's name at the high school game, and they'll be chanting it here. Here's a freshman who's getting his name by 24, and he will unload that bench before many more ticks on that clock. Kahn down inside. Foul, will they count it?
That is strong. That's a good call by Steve Welmers. But did you see how low of a base that Sasha Kahn had?
Kansas tracking another Big 12 championship. They have won 50 conference championships in basketball at Kansas, the most of any school in Division I in the NCAA. And this one's over. The Jayhawks have won it 84-49. With a whole lot of big days, the ball distributed and scoring distributed for Kansas. They go to 20-0 on the year, 5-0 in the Big 12 Conference. Nebraska at 11-6, 0-4. So Kansas wins it here. Let's get you into Studio 66.
Torchron Collins now off the bench, as is Roderick Stewart, who was starting earlier in the season.
Now Kansas has gone to 4 small guys.
Chalmers and 1 in the foul on Jackson Wilson. So Mario Chalmers with the small lineup. A little burst for Kansas.
Chemistry is always a positive thing. So when Xavier Silas gets a chance now, you want to see if he's going to continue to buy into what's going on.
Yeah, they're down 12-2 when he's out the first 6-7 minutes. Then you got a problem. Kansas coming back big way.
They talked about that yesterday, making the extra pass.
Roby with 5. Rush, though, answers quickly at the other end with a 3 of his own.
Rush, wide open, Terry, career third. And he's done it very well. Of course, his brother, Kenyon Martin, knows Jeff Bzdelic well.
Largest lead of the game, the silencer. Jackson answers off the nice dish. And they'll take a seat in the Coors Event Center. And Jeff Bzdelic not happy at all. He's going to call a 30.
Yeah, I like this now. This is good. He was very positive and patient yesterday.
On the other end. 4 of 4 from the floor. Kansas, though, on a 10-2 run of the past 4 minutes and 20 seconds, almost 5 minutes now. Arthur, the big guys together.
Oh, it's funny, when you got Mario Chalmers stats up there.
He talked about getting to that first TV timeout, media timeout. Now they're down 6.
You just want to hang around as long as you can. There's Chalmers.
Quick hands for Chalmers to run out.
Venus flytrap. Quick hands, great anticipation.
10-0 Kansas run. 38-30. They've got all.
Trying to get to that next TV timeout.
Kick from Chalmers. Setting up Rushberger 3. That's what he does best. Chalmers does that very well.
You know what? I talk about
it was actually inside the top of the key.
Yep. People don't remember that.
Lob in the dunk to Jackson. Forget the old days. Back to the present. They had the timeout. That was their first offensive possession since the timeout.
That's right. That's a guy that's probably drawn up a lot of plays in his career. You think of his NBA background as an assistant to Pat Riley, among others.
Arthur to the left hand and the foul on Roby.
You can always tell what a coach
and takes. Quick bucket at the other end, though. It's a 5-point game.
Usually you need a quick bucket, you go to KFC. Right here.
Nice. Work that sponsor in. Kahn gives you another one. And a little extra at the end.
Well, excellent screen and roll. We talked about, but they had a lot of things go right. And that's going to be an interesting game on March 1st.
Yeah, the rematch. March 1st. Here comes Chalmers after the steal. Giving it right back to Rush. Straight down Broadway.
Chalmers can score it. He can defend. Although she can't take off on the foul line. It does it like this.
Still have.
He dunk on you?
James Worthy. Chalmers on the back door in the dunk.
Set play out of the timeout. Bill Self, as good as times it's not measured in the win-loss column, but you can recognize it with your eyes. Colorado, a game effort today.
Final seconds and another one in the win column for the Kansas Jayhawks. Will be a big effort for the Stellic and the Buffaloes, but they dropped to 9-12. Kansas now 21-1. 72-59 your final score as we send it back to Carl in the studio. So long, everybody.
Also, his mobility have really improved, which I think has helped him considerably.
See a little 2-2-1 press. They will mix it up. There's a lob. Caught. Screening, movement, good execution. See the 2-3 zone.
Collins. Chalmers for three.
There are so many underrated players on this Kansas roster.
Bounce from inside. Stewart maybe got away with the travel there. Robinson for three. Not there. Rush guys for the rebound and reverses it. Misses. Kahn on the follow. Scores and he was fouled. Wow.
Well, credit Brandon Rush. First the defensive rebound on one end where he skied over the...
Boy, sent back with a vengeance. Leo Lyons tried to put up the shot. Collins at the other end.
He left JT Tiller standing still like a statue of...
I was going to say, talk about that. Everybody looks at his offense. But if you're a pro scout, Chalmers all the way. But if you're a pro scout, what he does defensively has to excite you.
Well, you remember last year in the Big 12 tournament, he probably did the best job on Kevin.
He brought attention to the league. Shot clock is at 10. Collins for three.
Collins getting his stroke back, shooting just under 40%. Good pressure by Tiller.
Robinson for three.
He's only shooting a...
Well, somebody addressed the care because Donovan Jackson was left all alone.
Ended a basketball camp at Mizzou as a junior. Vetted Melvin Watkins, assistant coach.
Sasha Khan missed the shot, got the rebound, and on the follow score.
Offenses, good recognition by the Jayhawks.
Collins, boy, a trap on him, and he got it away to Chalmers. This is Rush.
Consistency.
Brown's pass tip. Collins over to Chalmers, and the easy run out. 6 quick points, 2 3-pointers.
The key to Texas is that they can get everybody else involved.
Chalmers back to Sasha Khan. Backdoor, beautifully handled. Darnell Jackson right there.
Ron, there is Holly Rowe just talked about. Cliff Chapman from Canby, Oregon.
Rush for three. Got it.
Nobody better in the Big 12 when you give him some room, other than maybe...
Sharon Collins drives it back out in the wing. Again, good quick ball movement by the Jayhawks, and Jackson will dunk it home.
Ron, no pun intended. He's got 8, but this is one of the most selfless, if not the most...
Blocked, and he got the follow.
Grabbed his own rebound.
And at the other end, Arthur.
And that's what Sharon Collins gives you. He gives you instant fast break. No matter what you try to do can overwhelm you.
Rush for three. He got it.
Just like Abrams, you cannot give Brandon Rush any daylight.
Giving them a free path to the basket. He also looked at Sharon Collins and said, hey, we have got to have you start making some plays, guys.
Jackson fouled by James. Damian James just picked up number 3.
What a great catch and finish by Jackson inside. This was not easy. Rush almost went pro. The knee injury set him back. And Darrell Arthur almost left after his freshman year. So this is a veteran club.
Collins at quick first step, reversed it in and scored.
Young man from Crane High School. That's only his first 2 points.
Bouncer into Kahn. Dishes to Arthur and he'll score. That's a really nice play. Kahn saw that he had no way to get by James.
He's getting the recruits that are going to play his type of style, and they're going to be very successful here in the next few years.
He doesn't strike me as a patient man, does he you?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He worked for Pat Riley, and I know Pat Riley doesn't. He doesn't tolerate.
Looking down low, nothing doing there. Lob inside.
Nice play. Nice play. Nice back screen right there. That was a nice pass by Brandon Rush.
It started with a screen from Darrell Arthur on the wing, and then he gets to Thorne in transition. Less than 30% though from 3-point range for Thorne. Now Chalmers, a wide open 3.
And they need him to really step up and take some pressure off the other guards for KU. If he starts hitting, look out.
Chalmers just does it all.
High volumes of shots.
Hall can't hit. Higgins with a nice rebound in traffic. And then has it ripped away. The third steal for the Jayhawks. Another one for Chalmers.
Well, that situation right there is who wanted it the most.
Now Sharon Collins. He buries a 3.
And we saw him yesterday taking a lot of those shots in practice. He just stepped right up there, caught it.
Good. Hall. Rush with a steal.
He anticipated that. Right, he saw that coming.
Robinson. Alley.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Oh, my goodness. That's what I talk about, the difference of this KU team from last year. They're very...
Kahn begging for the ball down low. Now Chalmers, another 3 for Mario Chalmers.
Well, see, that's when you're cooking on cylinders like that. I mean, you got Colorado's in the foul trouble.
Yeah, Mamadou Gien.
Exactly. So it's an advantage for KU to pound them inside because Baylor plays a 4 or 5 guard rotation, and KU took advantage of it.
In fact, they only hit 6 shots in that game after they did the shot chart. I'll get back to this in a minute because I got to throw a wow in here.
Wow! Hey, he went up and got that. That was a bad shot right there.
About the start to the second half, a 14-4 run. Count that.
Oh, my goodness. And this is where KU now, you start to see them start using their inside dominance now. Okay, here's the alley-oop right here. Oh, just right now, just being more physical than Colorado right now.
Count that.
Well, that's a terrible foul right there. Take a look at Aldridge right here. Teams in the country of all time.
That's right.
And we're up there with teams that won national championships as far as the top 25 teams of all time.
You and Grant and Blaylock, I mean, how many guys went pro from there? How about that little play?
Unselfish play right there. You saw Brandon Rush break the defense down. Aldridge right there to be the benefactor of that alley-oop. KU's part of it. Just being here next to you, being trapped here under these circumstances. Felt like a mouse in a pen with 1,000 cobras.
You were a good sport about it. And the Jayhawks looking dominant here today as Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks go to 24-2 with a 69-45 victory.
Jayhawks by 4.
Kansas really aggressive on the pick and roll.
Speaking of aggressive, Chalmers with a breakaway.
Well, if you're a team struggling on the road, this is the start that you want in a tough place before the game. Trying to get his rhythm down, understanding how important his contribution has to be tonight. They want to pull out the upset.
Chalmers out front for the three.
Mario Chalmers feeling it early. He mixed. One exception of what I said, if they keep shooting the three like they've done thus far, they'll be in the game.
Kansas right back with the three by Collins.
Well, Sharon Collins can heat
with as many points as he had all day at Stillwater. And he was hampered by foul trouble in 17 minutes. He got 6 points. Chalmers feeling it for good reason. Already 10 points. Now timeout Iowa State. 10:39 first half. Kansas already with a double-digit lead.
It's young men and women. If you're playing the game and you're playing the center or power forward position, that's how you go to the hole in a pick and roll situation.
Three for Brandon Rush. His second basket. Both have been threes.
Back Johnson all the way up under the bucket. Just didn't finish.
Wesley Johnson missing the three. Rush, does he have another one? Bottom of the net on three from long range. Biggest lead for the Jayhawks, now up at 18.
See the difference? See, when you have big men running the floor like that, Ubelik ran the floor and got ahead of the defense, had great position. You got to give him the ball.
Brandon Rush, a chance at a three-point play. 3 threes. This is first two. He may turn it into second three here in the second half.
Boy, Mario Chalmers got crushed on that pick.
3-0 to 2. Bell on the line. Inside goes Sasha Khan for Kansas. He'll have a shot at three. First foul on Ubalik.
Why Sasha? Garrett hit the big man running the floor. He gave it to Brackens early before the defense was able to set up.
Chalmers with a huge three-pointer shot of the game for KU.
I mean, do you like, for example, someone like Giselle Bundchen, or do you like Jessica Biel? I mean, how are you going to go wrong?
Brandon Rush. How you going to go wrong? Brandon Rush for three.
I told you before this game, they better have their A play.
Talking about that 0 for 14 game on Monday, he thinks one of the reasons he couldn't find any of his headbands. Had to play without a headband for the first time all year.
Well, so Chalmers, somebody got to play some defense. Chalmers just went coast to coast, and then he came back and stole the ball.
5 straight makes for Kansas. Now they've got a turnover.
I told you this club is ready. I told you this club is ready. I told you, Danny S. I told you before the game. They are ready. If you aren't really sure, use the monitor.
Roderick Stewart. Brandon Rush.
Can't allow him to shoot that open shot. And that's all established by having good inside presence.
Now Khan brings it down.
They're going to have a tough time getting a lot of looks from Beasley inside.
Rush gets another look. Yes!
He's got the shooter's touch. He's got the shooter's touch. My friend, this could be a long, long night if you're a Kansas State fan. I am not shocked. I told you before the game what I anticipated.
More, but he said we're going to try to get him in more foul trouble. Put a body on him and try to frustrate him.
I'll tell you one thing, Aaron. There were two different clubs in the first 10 minutes and the second 10 minutes.
Well, Darnell Jackson.
Little Anthony and that Syracuse team, he was surrounded by a real strong cast.
Offensive rebound Rush. He's going to get a look from the corner.
He deserved it. After getting that offensive rebound, he deserved it. He's got a velvet touch. Good timeout by Frank Martin. Needs that TO. Again, we're seeing a Kansas team a little bit more fired up than we saw in the second 10 minutes of the first half.
16 for Rush. Kansas up is here. Senior night here at Allen Fieldhouse taking on Texas Tech.
Well, you know, Bob Huggins certainly broke their hearts. There's the lob over the top. Frustration City. You can see it in the eyes of Frank Martin. But Bob Huggins
led by 21 in the first half. K-State got it down to 10. Kansas got it out to 23 here in the second half. And Jackson right now is just a monster inside.
Well, they're scoring at will. I mean, you're coming to my house.
21 for Brandon Rush. And a steal.
His brother's playing well now for the Pacers.
Look at the speed by Collins. Wow!
Speed, strength. Here goes one of those spurts. Spurt ability is back again. And the Rock Chalk Jayhawk fans jump with joy. There's jubilation. There's celebration. There's revenge. They say there's no Manhattan Mania tonight, baby.
Walker 0 for 14 in their last game. So Walker, their second leading scorer, has not done anything offensively for 2 games, whereas Sasha Khan has here tonight.
Khan, Jackson, and Arthur have been aggressive. I mean, Greg Shaheen and Tom Jerkstad, those guys do a phenomenal job. But the reason it's the best is because of the format. One bad night, the party's over. It's not 4 out of 7.
Russell Robinson for 3.
He says, my mom's in the house. My mom's in the house. I can't disappoint my mom. Everybody, you know, they love 16. When we honor Bob Knight and Pat Summer. What a great environment.
39 tonight for Michael Beasley, but not nearly enough. Kansas 88, Kansas State 74 as the Jayhawks thrash the Wildcats here at a sold-out Allen Fieldhouse. 36-2 in their last 38 games in this rivalry. They avenged the January 30th defeat in Manhattan. A team effort by Kansas led by Brandon Rush, who had a very good night. Darrell Arthur, Sharon Collins, Mario Chalmers, you name it, they contributed tonight for the Jayhawks.
Absolutely. They came out with purpose defensively. They got Beasley and Walker in foul trouble.
And they're good. They're good.
Well, this is the most mature team I think Bill Self has had in his years. Oh, boy.
That's the kind of movement I was talking about that they work on. And when you don't get that kind of movement, the head coach gets very angry.
But you know, Ron,
the mark there. I'll tell you what, Holly's got part of the story, and I got part of it as well. When you hear what Pat Knight did last week to these kids, as you see the score and the foul, you'll find out, you'll know why they are playing so hard. So Russell Robinson will push it up.
Right now, if I were Kansas, I would try to pound it inside unless Collins is open.
Collins. And a 30-second timeout is called by Pat Knight. And let's check in with Reese Davis for
Colorado and then at Iowa State. And Bob.
Aldrich.
Now, you should know on every timeout, there should be an assistant coach player in the Big 12.
And also the Danny Manning Award, which is given to the most outstanding player. As the outlet pass, Chalmers scores, and there's the 20 I'm talking about. They are absolutely as tough as anybody, particularly in this arena. Like I said, they smell blood, and then here they come. Opportunities to tip it back. Unsuccessful by the Red Raiders. Robinson for 3.
Not bad.
That's the reason he stayed right there.
I remember talking to his high school coach, Mo Hicks at Rice High School after his freshman year, and he gave Russell the same advice.
Burgess. Chalmers on the run. Put up a Dipsy move that missed. And look at Darrell Arthur laughing as he runs up the floor. It wasn't a pass, was it?
It was not. It was now. It didn't start out as a pass, but Mario Chalmers will beg to differ with us.
Chalmers is playing as though he doesn't care if he scores at all tonight as Rush gets the block. And he'd like to just assist for other people like this guy here.
See, now Pat Knight's not going to be happy with that because that was just a lack of...
Khan got the block. It was a good pass, and they had it set perfectly, but Khan was just a little too big and a little too close. Collins, reverse.
That's the X factor, Ron. We saw this last February.
Or Roethlisberger includes no motorcycles. I would if I were management. Inside to Arthur. Nice dish to Khan.
Now that's a McDonald's All-American playing.
Ace. And you see Arthur gets it right back to him. Three-pointer.
Pressure's off. Now he can go back to just enjoy himself.
The senior understand he's really a popular guy, although he does not play on a regular basis. He'll try a third one. Players standing, all 16,000 plus.
Bill Self, I watch coaches all season long, and I'm telling you, I think people have no idea the great job he's done in continuing the great tradition here. But they've got one other ingredient, Ron, as Teahan goes for three. How about this? Yeah, 12 of 20 on the year. But they've got hunger because they only have 3 wins.
Forward to Junior out of right here in Lawrence. No more shooting. Clock is down. 6 seconds, down to 5. It's going to be 1-0.
Early on the ball game here this afternoon, it's Darnell Jackson.
Robinson, Chalmers, what a great 2-on-1 break. Mario Chalmers with the finish.
How about Mario Chalmers' defense? He actually beat the wing player to that entry pass. Now, there are a couple coaches in this league that told me, out to the basket right there. He had beaten Collins at the first step out front, just beat him again.
Finish it, Brandon. Take it on in. Boy, they can get out and run, can't they?
And every once in a while, Brandon Rush simply does something that just makes you want to go, wow.
Chalmers, Robinson, great block by Aldridge. What a finish. Half a dozen for Cole Aldridge.
Sideline pick and roll that Kansas loves to play.
You look around, all those Texas schools, there are a lot of great players coming out of Texas high schools. Brandon Rush nailed a 3 from the corner. He has 8 points.
Bill Self encouraged him early in the conference season. Need to have you more aggressive offensively. There were times he might go through a ball game to his range. Still not a three-point shooter like they'd like to see him at some point in time. He's added some offensive moves.
Steal, Mario Chalmers. Nice and soft over the rim.
I'm telling you, want to initiate the offense on the opposite side of the floor for Mario Chalmers. He'll break it down on that entry pass.
He's kind of limping now as they come back up court. Chalmers started. Times you bang at me like that, it hurts like fire, but then you can get over it. Rush. Oh, what a shot. He was fouled and won.
Brandon Rush said coming into this tournament, he didn't want any more finger rolls. He didn't want any more easy finishes if he goes to the basket.
To Russell Robinson in front. Oh, Darrell Arthur had an itchy trigger finger, but didn't pull it now. Rush will and got it.
A&M did a really nice job at getting back defensively. Kansas wanted to get something in transition, but they spread the floor, kept their spacing. Plus, Texas A&M defended from the inside out. Right now, Brandon Rush got a hot hand for KU.
Kansas fans sense a run by the Jayhawks. There comes Sharon Collins. Got the deflection, out on the run, and he got the bucket. And here come the Jayhawks. They have hit him with a shot, and they go back up by 7. A&M wants a timeout and gets it. That's what they're good at.
Head for the corner.
Derrick Rowland on the drive.
I think that's a strong upper body. And he is going against Sharon Collins. Rowland looks to be about the same size.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brandon Rush gets the ball in that corner, and he's money. Kansas up by 8. Their biggest lead.
Comfortable there, and Larry Brown said to him, hey, did you get into this coaching business to be happy and comfortable, or did you look to see how far you could go and really catch on with a good program?
Look at Collins. Look at Collins. Oh, Sharon Collins. I'll tell you what, if that had been a football, he was smelling the goal line, wasn't he?
Well, he was headed for it. He knew where he wanted to get to, and he was going to get there in a big hurry. Can you imagine that kid comes off the season? I don't think at the end of the season they talk about it being a marathon. Well, you can forget the marathon right now. We're in the final stretch. If you got a kick left, it's time to go to it. Usually in this game.
You're out of the last quarter. Oh, look at Darnell Jackson go up and just hammer that thing home.
And talk about a kick. That mule had some kick. The pick and roll. Who's going to have the best finish here the last 4+ minutes?
Derrick Rowland, the shot wouldn't fall. KU out running on the rebound, 2-on-2. Collins never stops. Now he kicks it back out. Rush deep corner, long look at a 3, and he nails. Brandon Rush. My goodness.
Good recognition. Kansas didn't have a numbers advantage. So Brandon Rush flared out to the perimeter. Sherron Collins found it.
Down on the corner, he is something. Obach, 7 to shoot.
And he had Brian Davis wide open in the paint right there, but the strong defense from Kansas, Jones couldn't even see him.
Kirk off target. He got it up with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Jackson on the run out at the other end and nailed it.
How agile is the big man? Now, he cut about 15 pounds from last year. Thought he was quicker earlier in the year. You wondered. Picks.
Robinson, Rush, 13 to shoot for Kansas, 31 left in the game. Robinson got it to the bucket.
Spread the floor, open those driving lanes. Be patient with the attack.
Now it's a 4-point lead, a 2-point. Burke to the midcourt line, 4 seconds to play. Fires a 3 off the heel of the rim. Collins has it for Kansas. That's game. 77-71. The Jayhawks win it, and they will advance to the championship game tomorrow against Texas. But I'll tell you what, they were in a battle here this afternoon. It'll be the 3rd straight year that the Big 12 championship final will be Kansas against Texas. First time ever in Big 12 history that the final game has been the same for 3 consecutive seasons. Kansas has won those first 2. It's the 2nd time ever that this has happened among the Big 6 power conferences. The only other time was Pittsburgh against Connecticut in the Big East Finals from 2002 to 2004. So it's Kansas and Texas tomorrow afternoon at Sprint Center. And Brandon Rush is our Phillips 66 player of the game. Again, he established a new career high here this afternoon with 28 points and the most scored by a Kansas player this year.
Finally, Indian up in Tobacco Road. Rush with a shot off the corner. Couldn't get it. Ball knocked over into the far corner and taken away by KU again. Chalmers for 3.
Mario Chalmers over 40%. He is anybody you'll see in college basketball.
Actually for 3. That's his first miss this year against KU. And the outlet pass at the other end, Arthur.
And we saw Darnell Jackson run the floor yesterday.
And actually, he's averaged 6.5 in those 2 games. But I guarantee you, Bill Self said that is a welcome sight.
Well, he's staying on the floor because he needs to stay out of foul trouble. Watch the ball movement.
Sasha Khan, assist Arthur. Nope. Will get the rebound as he battled with Wanmani. Rush for 3. Yesterday, he may have been more aggressive than I've ever seen him in a KU uniform. 4 for the Jayhawks. Rush. Got another one.
Wow. Well, if you're a Longhorn fan, remember this. They got out to a 32-10 lead. And there you see the zone now. Now the danger is, and we talked about it earlier, how well Kansas moves the ball. The coverage is going to have to be better.
There's your inside that you're talking about one more time. And a foul on Khan. Opportunity for a 3-pointer.
One of the things you must do when you play.
A.J. Abrams spin move, lost the ball and picked up by Khan. 2 turnovers, Texas. Chalmers.
Robinson and Chalmers in transition, especially off a steal. That's where Kansas can be lethal.
Wanmani picks up the foul. It's his first, and the team foul on Texas is 6th. So 1 away from the bonus. And Russell Robinson is gone to the bench as Rush hits another 3, and Sherron Collins is back out. Timeout, though. Right now, Rick Barnes needs to make it to halftime with what not happening.
Well, foul trouble. He can't have anybody else getting foul trouble. And that's the dilemma, Ron, because it's hard to play man-to-man when you're worried about foul trouble. But this team is so good versus zones shooting, and he's a point guard first. That's the amazing thing.
Rush for 3. You know, you said yesterday, after the game was over, that Rush made a lot of money in yesterday's ball.
And he's making more.
And that's because of all the scouts that are here.
Cheese. No ketchup. No mayo.
About to hit 4.5 minutes left until halftime. Falling down. down. Chalmers gets the jumper to go, and I'll tell you, that is now 14 points for him. Rush has 12, 16 points in the country, so that would be a natural for them. Collins back out on the wing. Chalmers for three. He got it. Chalmers now with 17 points.
You know, with most college teams, a team that shoots this many threes.
Rush has the ball, hitting in the back of the head. Russell Robinson right there. Three-pointer on the way, Chalmers.
Really good vision by Russell Robinson. He knew Chalmers was going to score. As hot as Rush has been, I think if you ask the Jayhawks, they'll say that the guy they want the ball in their hands in crunch time is Mario Chalmers. Remember that three last year to tie the title game in regulation?
Chalmers.
Yep, he loves the big stage. He's one of those guys that works
on his backside, tried to pick up another foul, couldn't get it, and KU on the run. Rush for three.
And he made a nice catch, too, because Sherron Collins drew that ball down by his ankles. Okay, Ron, here we go.
6 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in the championship. Texas by 4. Kansas, no field goals in the last 350. But get that, Arthur wipes out the drought. They almost went 4 minutes without scoring, but they close it back to 2 with that jam by Durrell.
Well, that'll be fun to watch on the replay because they've been screening rolling off.
Too much on the shot, lost it. Darnell Jackson rebounds. They got numbers, 3 on 2. Collins got it.
Well, you don't see Brandon Rush on the passing end of a three-point shot very often, but that speaks to the unselfishness of the Kansas Jayhawks.
Jackson at the hustle on the rebound.
He'll fumble a couple, but it'll make things happen.
Screen comes by Jackson. Rush over the middle. Chalmers for three. Got it. 4-point lead.
Remember, he was the MVP of this Big 12 tournament as a freshman. Level of skill level today. The assists and the lack of turnovers, I think, prove that.
The Kansas Jayhawks are going to win the title for 2008, and they close the game on a 14-3 run to do it. The coaches and the players shaking hands. DJ Augustine being hugged by Danny Manning there, then Mr. Chalmers. And down comes the confetti. The streamers.
Zandre Murray inside to Delonte Huff. Looking for Morrison. A lot of congestion inside and picked up by Russell Robinson. It's Chalmers to Rush inside. Coming for 2 and a foul. Foul will go on Kyle Costin for the first time in Kansas City this past Sunday against the Texas Longhorns. Arthur's screen for Chalmers. Darnell Jackson with a great pass inside to Darrell Arthur.
That's part of the problem. You double team on the inside, and did you see who was left to try to defend Arthur? It was Jeremiah Dominguez. He's
found Morrison and could not find the handle. Chalmers. Jayhawks have numbers. Rush inside and put down by Jackson. What a pretty play.
Portland State, when they get those opportunities close to the basket, they almost have to convert because you get
on. And the scramble ensues. Huff tries to get it. And Costin comes up with it and from behind. Great defense by Chalmers. Picked up by Robinson. Arthur with the trailing rush. And Darrell Arthur. And a timeout for the Vikings of Portland State with the Kansas Jayhawks on a 7-0 run. And saved by Chalmers, and it's off to Rush. Lucas picks him up. Arthur a screen. A three. Brandon Rush with a good start. That's his first three. And 2 of 3 from the field.
That he had ACL surgery in June.
And came back in mid-November. 8 minutes to play. Oh, and a great steal by Chalmers. Murray on his tail. Mario Chalmers. All defense again. He was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year a season ago. 7-0 run by KU.
And Portland State hit that little bump with a big Kansas run. You get very small now. Thomas only 6'5". He plays the inside. Portland State back in the zone.
It's Rush for 3 over Costin. Oh, my goodness. Rush has got the stroke today. A 12-0 Kansas run.
The entire Kansas team has their strokes today.
For UNLV, they've got Rutledge and Terry and Dargan. Rougeau and Wink Adams. A screen by Jackson. The drive by Robinson with the left hand. Counted for 2 and a foul. Russell Robinson pushes the issue inside. Arthur will sit for Kansas. Approaching a minute and a half to play in the first half. The guards, Robinson, Collins, and Chalmers. The drive by Russell Robinson. Chalmers with the 3. Good! Russell Robinson gave the feed. And Chalmers knocks down Kansas's first 3. Mario Chalmers has 7. That's the leading. Chalmers. Here is Rush, who has started 3 of 5. Down the lane with the alley-oop, and it's pounded in by Terrell Arthur.
Kansas had tremendous success driving the ball to the...
Ayers comes up with his 10th point. The other way, Rush in a hurry, putting up a 3. Brandon Rush. He's got 9.
And danger time for UNLV. Kansas.
Here's Rush. 4 of 9.
He has done
big time triple.
He has done that. That now haven't been 3s, but that
has a block by Jackson.
Jackson's come back into this ball game very attuned to playing defense.
And Rush gets the roll. Brandon Rush now, 4 points. And Kansas takes a... Chalmers straight away. And hits.
You see, that's the kind of offensive play Kansas needs to kind of extend that Davidson defense. Right.
Arthur the other way. Pivot. Up and in. What a play.
Now we see the pace going up and down a couple times.
And fires a brick.
He got bothered. Rush got in there at the last moment.
Chalmers off the break. Count.
Mario Chalmers continues to try to stretch the day's penetration. A lot of red hands, a lot of red shirts with hands out there bothering the ball, deflecting the ball.
6 to shoot. Chalmers lobs it. Oh, Sasha Khan bangs it down and the foul. This man has had an excellent game. 8 points now.
And Davidson demonstrating right now they're in it to win it.
Now Rush fires again. This time it goes down. That's a 3. 7 points. Driving, kicking. Jackson. Rush with the rebound. Now Rush again. Splits it. Tough shot. Oh! And it counts. Plus the foul.
Well, after that made jump shot a few minutes ago, narrow by Chalmers.
Curry the other way, poked out of his hands from behind. Collins, he's got Chalmers on the wing, but he finds Jackson who pounds it home.
And that's what we say, you got to get that tempo back. Kansas needs to turn Davidson over, get some easy buckets.
Barr again.
Pressure on them, try to get them in some foul trouble. You still got plenty of time to go. You can't take this errant jump shot.
And a steal. Chalmers drives straight to the basket and lays it in.
Of course, easy baskets help as well.
51 to 49. Chalmers with 13. Now Chalmers. Khan wants it inside. Steps out the screen. 20-footer. Collins. Kansas right back in front. 52-51. 5 points for Collins, all coming in.
Who has been red hot.
Barr lines up in the corner on the baseline. Here's Curry. He may not give this up. Pick and roll. Curry. 6 to go. Frees himself. Curry. 4 to go. Pumps. Kicks it out. Richard. And it's over. Kansas holds on. And the Jayhawks are heading to the Final Four.
Wow. Why did Stephen Curry give up the ball for one? And secondly, the way he's been able to go behind his back, penetrate, you wonder what they were thinking. You take a look here. Replay situation.
UCLA. For Len Elmore, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from the Motor City. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York after these messages. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball champion.
Except Memphis. They had UCLA on the ropes early too. Hansbrough, that one's Arthur says not a chance. Rush up ahead, plays it in.
Second time in this ball game that a good double down. Getting no free looks from the outside at all. North Carolina, another good quick.
Chalmers wasn't looking, but they still have it. There's another quick move by Collins.
Isn't it amazing? Another double team on Hansbrough.
Hansbrough puts up the shot. Ginyard comes flying in.
Loose ball.
It's Robinson in Kansas. Other side of the court, Rush. They're just flying up and down the floor. A 10-0 run by the Jayhawks.
Kansas started 20-0.
Up 15, looking for more.
Nice screen.
Rush with the three. Can you believe it? What a performance.
Beautiful screen that time by Jack.
Dome in the 98 Final Four and fell to Utah in the national semifinal right in this spot.
Bill Self worked so hard to get to a Final Four, and it was a trouble, but this has been no trouble for him. This is one of the most devastating performances I've seen. And the national championship on the college level is not the best of 3 series. It's one and done, and North Carolina right now is facing that early in this ball game.
Rush, way outside 3. Of course! Of course!
This game is over.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Wow. With 7.5 to go in the first half.
Very confident right now.
Green, that would have been huge. Would have brought him within 15. Bounce pass, perfect to Chalmers. Stolen by Robbins.
To show again that you can regain control of this ball game. They were really tired at the end of the first half.
Oh, there you go. What a perfectly executed play. Backdoor they go to Chalmers.
You want to go into the locker room?
Or we go. Here's Chalmers squaring up for a 3. Rush on the follow-up.
That was a perfect pass. Derek Wittenberg, Lorenzo Charles.
15 on the shot clock. Kansas looking for a little comfort. Lob it. Kahn delivers. Oh, what a Kansas moment.
Boy, they read that beautifully. Kahn set the screen. Collins knew he was going to roll. Collins thinking about that lob again, maybe?
3-pointer instead. Sharon Collins hit the shot before the end of the first half.
Here comes the trap. There's the jump shot.
Rush lobs it instead to Jackson. Lob City for Kansas.
You knew the trap was Collins getting every loose ball now?
For the last minute he has. Jackson.
Roy Williams needs a timeout here. His team's letting it get away from him. He's still got time, but he can't let so many loose balls. Key rebounds in traffic. And now with the ball in his hands, he's tough to stop.
That was a fascinating cutaway, wasn't it? The man who won a championship for Kansas back in '88 in his rush. Has 2 more.
Well, where did he go to college, though? He promised to hire me. I haven't heard from you since, so I'm here to work. Had a pretty fair career, hasn't he?
I'm telling you, and it can get even better. Monday night, Kansas and Memphis will duel for the title. The Jayhawks withstand the storm and take it to the Tar Heels, 84-66. They had an 18-0 run in the first half, a 13-0 run in the second, in the late going.
Intercepted or interrupted some kind of pass.
Over the top, Arthur knocks it down with force.
You think the University of North Carolina remembers that play?
Well, that's what they opened the game with against Carolina, and they kept going to it.
Right over the top. Arthur getting very...
What a great host city. So fans have enjoyed a spectacular weekend along the Riverwalk here of San Antonio.
I think Collins ought to go in. There's the back screen.
Oh, perfectly done by Collins to Kahn. You saw it coming, Billy.
Yes, it was. It was a back screen set up. Now, you're going to have Rose playing on Collins. They know each other. Keep the ball in your hands a little longer. There he goes.
Collins past Rose. What a move.
That's a very, very good move by Kansas. Because now Rose has got to play both ends of the floor. And Collins...
Lewins the shot. Long rebound out to Robinson.
Nice cutoff dribble by Robinson to take the defender away from him.
Darnell Jackson, can he get the third on Taggart? No, kicks it out instead. Three-point shot, yes! Chalmers of Kansas.
Very important for this team, as I pointed out. When they make threes, they are tough to beat.
Pinned for Aldridge, and Rose comes down to make the steal. Chalmers right back, his second steal of the night. Lays it up with the left hand.
Rose will have to learn. Chalmers has great, quick hands, and there
takes the shot, and it's wide of the mark.
Has not been a factor in the tournament so far.
Lob to Arthur, beautifully laid on the rim by Rush. And Memphis now has its biggest deficit of the entire tournament. Open, Arthur gives it up last second. Collins high, Arthur three, tipped out by Rush. And saved by Chalmers.
I think Rush went over the back on that play.
Yeah, he did, and Congo gets the pass and the dunk.
That's a tough break for Memphis right there, because I thought Rush went over Dorsey's back. But you can't wait on
Rush, pass Roberts, and the shot will count.
Jim, what I said, a big man that gets tired tends to reach and not move his feet, and that's what happened.
For Dorsey, that's his...
He's now telling people to get away. Let's see if he puts the ball on the floor.
Biggest lead of the game. For either side. He wanted a foul, and he was able to squeeze the shot between two players.
He's a tough man to guard with all his strength. Doesn't have the size of Rose. What he's going to do is he's going to substitute offense for defense. You're looking out here, you probably want to put Taggart on the line.
Collins with the steal. He got it over to Chalmers. Back out. Big three. Hits the shot. We're down to 4.
That was the play they needed. You don't need a 3 here.
They're going down low. Arthur puts up the shot. Banks it in. Inadvertently rolls around the rim off the glass, down to 2.
And Rose tells everybody get out of the way. He wants the ball in his hands.
Is on the night. They must make one here to extend the game. Collins driving, almost lost the handle. Chalmers for the tie. Got it with 2 seconds. Unbelievable. Dozier at midcourt for the championship. No, we're going to overtime in San Antonio.
Jim, the free throws did it and put Memphis in this kind of a position.
And Calipari will not have Dorsey in the OT. He fouled out.
Oh, and he might, and right now, look at Rose. He's either got a cramp or he hurt his ankle. And says game.
He says championship. That's what you said. Oh, the steal. It's Collins. Trying to get past Rose. He's looking over to Rush. Rush waits with the body control. Kansas up 2 in OT.
Great job by Rush to fill that lane. Thing has to do not only with that shot, but the lack of ability to make in clutch free throws.
Collins had some clutch plays, didn't he? That steal and the 3, that was huge. Laying it on the rim, and Arthur knocking it down. Chalmers to Arthur, and Kansas is up 4.
No Dorsey. Tough job to take up space in the paint.
Rebound on Arthur. Kansas can taste it. They come back from 9 down in regulation. A Kansas comeback for the history books. Rock Chalk Championship. Kansas takes the title.
On the anniversary of Danny and the Miracles, huh?